Our learning target says I can estimate and measure the lengths of objects in inches and feet using a ruler. So you each should have a paper ruler that you can use during our worksheet today and tomorrow. And using this ruler is going to be a really helpful tool for us. And I'm going to model how to use that for you today. Okay, so I'm going to pull an object down, and I'm going to show you how I can measure this. I first want to do an estimate. We've talked about estimates. An estimate is when I make an educated guess about how long this object might be. I think it might be about 2 inches. An inch, if we look at our ruler, 0 to 1 is 1 inch. 1 to 2 is 2 inches. So that's a pretty good estimate. To measure this, I need to make sure that I don't start at the end of my paper ruler because there's no numbers down here. I have to start at where this line is, where it says 0 inches. So I'm going to put that right where the object begins. And I said my estimate was about 2 inches. Well, it turns out it's a little more than 2 inches. It's actually closer to 3 inches. And so my answer for this problem would be 3 inches. The way I write that is to write 3, then IN stands for inches. Let's try another one. I'm going to measure this marker. Again, I'm going to make an estimate first, though, for this marker. Well, it's definitely, with the glue stick being 3 inches, this is bigger than the glue stick. And so maybe I'm going to say it's maybe 5 inches. Maybe this is 5 inches. It's a good estimate. I'm going to, again, when I measure something, I have to start it right at the 0. So I don't start at the end of this ruler because guess what? There's no numbers down here. I have to make this line up with the line where it says 0. So I do that, and oh my gosh, my estimate was a lot closer this time because guess what? It is about 5 inches. So for that one, I would write my answer to be 5. And then I write IN for inches. Okay, let's do one more. I have a pencil. I gotta make an estimate. Well, it's gonna be more than 5 because I can tell this is bigger than the marker. Maybe it's 7 inches. That seems about a good estimate. So again, when I measure, I go to the end of the object to where that 0 inch line is. And it's actually a little more than 7 inches. We can see it's actually closer to 8 inches. And so we would say this line or this pencil is about 8 inches long. Okay, let's take a look at your worksheet. So on your worksheet today, it's very similar to what I just did, but instead of measuring objects, you're going to be measuring lines. The learning target still says I can estimate and measure the length of objects in inches and feet using a ruler. You're going to estimate and measure the length of each line in inches to start. Just like I did with measuring like the marker and the glue stick. Here though, it says estimate and measure the length of each object in feet. Now, one of these is 1 foot. So if your chair is going to take more than one of these, maybe it's going to take 3 of these to measure your chair. That would then be, you'd say 3 feet for your estimate. You put that here. Then you actually have to go and measure it. Okay, you only have one of these, so you're just going to kind of stack it and then put your hand where it's at and then raise it up above it, okay, to kind of measure where that chair is at. Down here then it says circle the better estimate for the length of these objects. And you want to think about the object in real life. You don't want to think about it in looking at the pictures. So this girl, would it make more sense for her to be 4 inches long, which is this amount here? Or does it make more sense for her to be 4 of these long? Same thing for the apple. Does it make sense for an apple to be 3 of these rulers long? That's 3 feet. Or does it make more sense that an apple is about 3 inches? Finally, you will choose something to measure using inches, and you'll write the name of the object and its length. You can measure whatever you want. You could choose a marker like I did, or a glue stick, or a crayon. It's up to you. Have fun with your measuring with inches today.